Hello and welcome to Sharp HR Career Corner with Karen Sharp Price. This podcast will inform and inspire you in your quest to find the right career path. If you're just starting out, looking to make a change in your field, or transitioning into a new career, then this podcast is for you. We will be sharing tips and providing resources on topics such as writing resumes, interviewing, using LinkedIn, and networking. We will take a look at different careers, companies, and opportunities. You will hear success stories from professionals in all career paths, and so much more. You will leave this podcast with 3 key takeaways that you can easily put into practice. Enjoy!
Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm Karen Sharp Price. Today we have a special episode of Sharp HR Career Corner. We actually have 3 guests today, all college seniors, and on Saturday, all college graduates. It is a very exciting time, and if you've been following Sharp Human Resources on LinkedIn, you will have seen each of my guests share their elevator pitches during the month of May. I like to showcase college students who are about to graduate during the month, and they all did a great job. Hi, Emily, Ziv, Tony, how are you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great. Thank you so much for taking the time out today. I know this is a really busy week, for some of you even more so. Tony was telling me a little bit about what he's planning this week, and so he's been very busy. But I know graduation is coming soon, and it's very exciting, but that also means a lot of prep time and things to get ready. So thank you for taking the time out today.
My pleasure.
I would like to start, because we know that you all did an elevator pitch, but for those that might have missed what you said, if we could go around and just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you just went to school for and what you're planning on, what kind of field of interest do you have. Who would like to start out and tell us a little bit about themselves?
I can start it out.
Okay.
So my name is Emily, and like you said, I will be graduating this Saturday from Daemen College with a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration, a specialization in HR, and a minor in entrepreneurship. I've only been going to Daemen for 3 semesters now. I got an associate's degree from NCCC for a degree in business administration, and then I went to Buff State for 1 semester before transferring over to Daemen. That's kind of where I'm at.
All right. Well, that's a lot of different experiences, which is a great thing, because you can really learn a lot from all of those different schools. How about you, Tony? Do you want to go next?
Sure, I'd be glad to. So Tony, after I served 21 years in the Army, 11 of those were in like administrative and human resources type positions for the Army. And then I went out to recruiting, and I did my last 10 years in recruiting. I recruited throughout Western New York, Northeast PA, and Cincinnati, Ohio, were my main areas where I did. And in Cincinnati, I actually did medical recruiting. After I retired, I moved back here because my wife's from Buffalo, and I decided that I was going to go to school. My wife is also a Daemen alum, and so I kind of looked at Daemen and I was like, all right, let's go there. I've been here at Daemen. This was my 4th semester there, and I've been through 6 different colleges total before coming to Daemen. I believe it might be more than that. But anyway, so I took a lot of experience and then brought it to Daemen and then to finish everything up here.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I actually, because of all the different times I've moved for the Army and stuff, and with the education centers, so they kind of move you with stuff. And this was prior to online schooling. Okay. I remember back when we had videos for that. But I'm graduating with a business administration and a specialization in human resources. I did human resources because I enjoy business, but I also enjoy people. And so I decided that was human resources was my best avenue. Okay. Most of my life has been some type of customer service in HR and in recruiting, and so this just felt natural for me.
Okay. All right. And Ziv, how about you?
So my name is Ziv Basin, and I'm from the Bahamas. I'm an international student athlete here at Daemen. As Karen mentioned, I'm going to be graduating on Saturday, which is the 29th. So excited about that. Oh my goodness. We made it. We made it, y'all. But yeah, I'll be getting my Bachelor of Science degree in business administration as well. My concentration is in sports management, and I also have minors in marketing and entrepreneurship. Those are two things that I'm really passionate about. What I plan on doing with that, primarily, not 100% sure, but I'm planning on leveraging these internships and other like opportunities to gain some out in the field experience to just really like kind of clarify some of my interests in like the direction that I want to go into in sports with like marketing, things of that nature, and in entrepreneurship. With that respect, I really like solving problems because like as a kid and stuff like that, I was really drawn to like innovation and deep thinking and yeah, just problem solving altogether and like just trying to help people with those like concepts and all those things. So that's where the entrepreneurial side tapped in, and I just want to try to leverage that sometime later on down the line. But first off, I just want to get some work experience, like fresh out of college, just like get my feet wet, dibble and dabble, like learn the business environment and network, get to know some people, and just like go from there. So yeah, that's kind of my plan moving forward.
Well, and getting experience in different areas of interest is good on many fronts because you get to see how different places work and how people on teams work and things like that. But while you're doing all of that, you're then also exposing yourself to other avenues that you might not have considered. And you'll find your path, you'll find your way along that. So it's nice, it's great to be like kind of open to possibilities instead of having just one set goal. The more open you are, I think the more fun you're going to have, the more experiences you're going to enjoy. So I think it's a great attitude. So now you're all about to days away to graduate from Daemen. But looking back, whether it's been a few semesters or 4 years or somewhere in between, what do you think that you've learned the most from being at Daemen?
I would say that the thing I learned the most from Daemen would probably be just like preparing for the real world after college. I feel like there's a lot of great classes and tools and people, and you have been an extremely helpful tool, Karen.
Well, thank you.
Like helping us build our resumes, helping us network, create LinkedIn accounts. I would say that's probably the most useful and beneficial thing I've learned at Daemen.
Oh, thank you. And I didn't even pay you for that. Zev, how about you? We'll mix it up a little bit. What have you learned the most from Daemen?
I would say one of the things that I learned that really stuck with me from like freshman year on throughout was just like all the different aspects of like, I don't know, businesses and how they all like kind of interplay, like how you really have to like, you can't just really, as you mentioned before, just have like one main focus. There's like all kind of different aspects like that are at play like in any specific business. And that's something that really like interests me. As Anthony mentioned, like HR and operations management and I don't know, like distribution, all those things that are moving parts that are at play. I just think it's so interesting how it comes together and just like fine tune to just get the final product to the consumer and all those things. It's like so much at play that more than what you would initially think that it is, things like that. So yeah, that's what really stuck out to me.
You might want to look at like operations management because they've got their foot in every piece of a business, and so if you like all those moving parts and keeping them all moving, that might be an area that that you might be interested in. Tony, how about you?
For me, because of my experience, the biggest thing I learned at Daemen was the theoretical side of it, the book side of it, like what I need, because I knew what I've been taught, what I've learned as I went, and what I needed to do. But to really understand, I'd say the why of that. What's the theory behind that? Why do we do these things? And that's the biggest thing I think I learned at Daemen was that.
Okay. So, we keep talking about graduation because I think, especially because of the pandemic, I mean, you guys kind of got cheated out of your last year of really like diving in and being a part of that whole experience. So, we get to talk about graduation all week. So you're all graduating on Saturday. What are your plans, like your fun plans? Not the fact that, are you going to get a job or not, but because you all will. But what are you going to do to celebrate? Anybody have any big ideas or things that you're going to do?
I'll take this first.
Okay.
Yeah, so for me, we're actually my parents are coming into town, which my mom is almost 70 and my stepdad's right behind her. And so my mom, when she was 40, got her bachelor's degree, and when she was 50, got her master's, while raising 2 teenage boys. So for her to come see me at 40, almost 43, graduate, it's going to be great. So we're having a lot of people come over. We're having a lot of people get together at the house. The kids will play, and everybody's vaccinated. So, but yeah, that's kind of my plans. And then other than that, it's mainly work around the house, just catch up on the things that I couldn't do when the weather was bad. So.
Well, that's very cool. You're following in your mother's footsteps, so that's nice. Yeah. So you have to go on to get your master's now, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, how about Emily? How about you?
Yeah, well, I am gonna have a graduation party in June, so I'll have all my close friends and family come out and just celebrate and enjoy it. I am a first generation college graduate, so it's kind of a big deal for my family.
Yeah.
I also do have a trip planned in June to go to Maine. It's going to be my first time going to Maine, so I'm really excited for that as well.
That's very cool. Ziv, how about you?
Kind of same like Emily. Just been hanging out with a lot of all my other friends that like graduating college and stuff. It's like I really been participating in all of like the stuff that Daemen has been having, like the New York Bear Project. That was really fun. Mentioned Darien Lake. And all the other like events they've been having on campus. But other than that, I'm flying home to the Bahamas, so I'll probably get together with all my friends and family back home too. We might have like a cookout or something, or maybe on the beach or something, hopefully.
Okay, so we gotta at least put a little bit of spotlight on the Bahamas. I mean, that is like, that is cool that you live in the Bahamas and you're gonna have a party on the beach. Like, come on. that's extremely cool. So that will be a lot of fun. And so are you gonna go right back after graduation, or are you gonna stick around for a while and then go?
Probably another week. I have my ticket for the 7th, so yeah.
Okay, well, that's exciting. Okay, so we're gonna just take a short break and we're gonna play a little game. It's get to the point. So I usually do 10 questions for my guests, but because there's 3 of you, I'm going to do five each, because otherwise it could go on. So I'm just going to ask you a random question that I have written down, and whatever pops into your head at the time, just, answer it. So it's nothing that you have to study for, I promise. So you'll all pass. Okay. So why don't we start with, Tony. We'll go Emily, and we'll finish up with Zev, and we'll kind of go in that circle as we do it. So, okay, virtual or in person?
In person.
Emily?
In person.
Yeah.
Zev?
In person, yeah, for sure.
Okay. You're tired of this whole virtual thing. I get it. Okay, second one.
Without masks.
Yes. Well, I think we're pretty close too. I think we're getting there.
Getting there.
Okay, next one. Social media of choice. Tony.
Ooh, probably Facebook, but I'm also on Instagram a lot. So probably those 2.
Okay. Emily?
I've been using TikTok a lot.
Oh my goodness.
My daughter has like 700 followers. I mean, I know that's not a lot,
wow.
but yeah, my 8-year-old has like 700 followers on TikTok.
That's not
I
a
have
lot?
like 30, so.
Yeah.
I have like 22.
Yeah.
Wow. One of her videos with her friends ended up putting into somebody's thing, or put into things you should watch, or whatever the thing is.
For You page.
Thank you, that page. Yeah. So.
Wow, that's cool. Okay, Ziv, how about you?
Instagram, and
Instagram.
TikTok, and Snapchat.
You couldn't just pick one. All right, I get it. Okay. Favorite video game?
Oh,
Do you
Madden
have-
all day long. Madden all day long.
Madden?
Any day, Madden.
Okay. Emily, do you have one?
Probably Minecraft.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't played in a long time though.
Okay. Ziv?
Super Smash Bros.
Fun too.
You know that one, Anthony?
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, that's
Okay, what movie streaming platform do you use? Where do you watch all your movies from?
I'll say this: I have subscriptions to 7, so 6, yeah, something like that. But probably I watch a lot of the Peacock because I love watching The Office.
Oh,
I watch The Office all the time, either that or HBO Max, and watch Friends and Big Bang. So
okay.
usually those two.
Emily?
I probably use Netflix the most.
Yep. And Ziv.
just split between Netflix and Hulu.
Okay. Those are mine too. Okay. And the last one, favorite place that you've traveled? Could be anywhere.
Oh,
Tony?
I've been a lot of places. I'd have to say St. Lucia. I've been there twice. I went there for my honeymoon and then went there for another friend's wedding. And I loved it there. Yeah. I keep telling my wife I'm going to buy a place there one of these days.
St.
Wow.
She
Lucia.
says, well, yeah, I love St. Lucia. It's beautiful down there.
Huh. Emily?
Probably the Adirondacks.
Okay. You're a hiker?
Yeah.
Okay. And Ziv.
It's this island back home. It's called Harbor Island. It's real nice. They have like pink sand and stuff, flamingos, all that.
Pink sand?
Yeah, it's real nice.
Really?
hmm
Wow. And that is that like an island off of the Bahamas?
Yeah, it's in the Bahamas. It's probably like an hour boat ride from my island.
Ooh.
It's so
All
nice.
right. That sounds cool.
In the Nassau. I've been to Nassau. That's the only place I've been in the Bahamas.
Oh yeah, that's where I'm from.
I've been on multiple cruises too, so that's why I've been there too.
Yeah, I see those every day.
Yeah.
Never been on one.
Well, the next time you got to get off the boat
Yeah.
and you got to go see Ziv. Because
Yeah,
now you know
all right.
somebody
Well,
there.
I'm actually probably
Oh,
next,
sure.
not this September, but next September I'll probably be down
Next
that way
September?
sometime. Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to Key West this September. Next September I'll probably be down that way. We take a trip every year right around our anniversary. My wife and I do.
Okay. I should probably be there. I'll be there.
You gotta hook up and talk to each other and show them the real Bahamas,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
not just those resorts, like the real
yeah.
Bahamas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
So
the
this
little
one-
shops right off the boat, all the other real shops.
that would be
Yeah.
cool. Okay, well, thank you very much. That wasn't too difficult.
No,
It's probably one of the easiest quizzes you've ever had.
definitely.
So let's get back to like talking about like the pandemic, because we can't really go without asking questions about the pandemic. It's really affected each and every one of us, probably in some different ways. But how has it affected your career plans? Because a year and a half ago, almost, we didn't see it coming. No, I don't think anybody saw it coming. And I don't think that any of us thought that it would last as long as it did. I don't think that we ever could have imagined the devastation of losing so many people. It's incredible. So as a college student who kind of had an end goal of when they were graduating and how to get into their careers, you found yourself the second group of graduation from last May, they were hit right in the middle of it, and they were graduating right when it was in the middle. But now we're sort of on the other end. We are starting to see a little bit of just movement. I see a lot of new opportunities, but for all of you, have you started to just even dabble or look around or see what's out in your field, and what kind of effect has it had on you, on what your plans were going to be from maybe a year ago, 2 years ago? How about Ziv? Do you want to start with this one?
So yeah, I think it was one of your speakers that came in. I think it was Isaac actually. And he spoke about like, was that in your class? I think that was Isaac.
No, I don't think so. It might,
It
maybe,
was
was it in your entrepreneurial class?
actually, yeah, it was entrepreneurship class. So yeah, one of the pieces of advice that he gave us was to look out into the job fields and just like find like careers and stuff like things that seem interesting to you, and just look at all the different requirements and just try to like build those skill sets and those knowledges, those experiences before you even get out into the job field. So that's something that's really been on my mind. Like, just trying to make sure I have those skills and those like just trying to build those, those experiences, just like try to meet the requirements, like, you know, just so that when I get out into the field and, I'll be ready kind of thing.
Did the pandemic change what you were planning on doing?
Yeah. So last summer I had a few internships lined up and it just like got canceled out of nowhere. So I got kind of blindsided. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I was trying to like leverage those so it's kind of like feel out the job field and just like get a more clear sense of what direction I wanted to go. So that was kind of like detrimental.
Yeah. The whole internships. I mean, most internships were in person prior, and when that hit, I don't think most companies really were prepared to turn things into remote. They were still scrambling just to get their jobs and their employees to go remote, let alone having interns come in and try to do the same. It has changed a lot after that first semester, and I think companies have realized that they can do it. But it's been tricky for students to get the experience, which is what they need before they graduate. So Tony, how about you? How has the pandemic affected your career plans?
Well, on the internship side, that kind of got me. I had done 2 interviews the week prior to everything shutting down, and then everything kind of went away after that. I was really looking forward to actually getting into an HR type whatever job that's on this side of the house, on the civilian side, and then that kind of just fell apart. I was able to still do something that was my passion for an internship, working with the Veterans Center at Daemen, but it still wasn't. I wanted to get into see how a business works. Be there and be behind the scenes and see how it works.
Yeah.
So it did that. It also, I think the pandemic slowed me down a little bit too. Made me really think back and go, okay, what do I need to do to make sure that I need to get to where? So like really just look and see what I needed and everything. And that's why I decided to, apply for the master's too. So.
Okay. All right. And Emily, how about you? How has the pandemic affected your career plans?
I feel like it didn't really affect my career plans, to be honest. I feel like I knew what I wanted to do and I still was going down that path. I feel like it mostly just affected like classwork and just school in general. I feel like that's kind of where it really affected me the most.
Okay. Because you all had to go remote, like I did.
Yeah.
And try to make the best of it.
I was in your class when we went remote. I think I was in the 303 or the whatever.
Yeah.
The last one was when we went remote.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And we all just had to really pivot quickly and hope for the best. I think it actually, from my perspective, I think it was sort of smooth transition for me, because my classes were set up in a way that I could easily just share the stuff through like Zoom and things like that. But for some of the other classes that you really need to be in person and have that connection with, I can see how that can negatively impact. Plus, I have kids of my own, and that definitely was different for them as well. And one, is about to graduate from high school, which you know exactly how that feels, because everything that you thought you were going to be able to do towards the end of that year, that semester, those events have been changed. We're lucky that they're starting to come back, because a year ago they weren't even having things like that. But they're still different. Our life is still, it's just different. So how have you started to look for an opportunity in your field, or have you? And if so, what kind of experiences have you seen out there? Are you seeing opportunities in your area, or have you not looked yet because you're just going to wait and have that party and go back to the Bahamas and enjoy that pink sand and then decide to start looking? And all of that is okay, because really, it's been a heck of a year. So whatever you guys decide is like really okay, no matter what you do. How about you, Tony? What's your plans? You kind of mentioned it, but
I really haven't started looking. I did look. I mean, I've always had like the different recruiter apps, the ZipRecruiters and the jobs, all the monster jobs, all the things sending me notifications just to kind of see, because, let's say that perfect company or job that maybe I would be interested in, because I have no clue what it is, but let's just say there is, it pops up, then I want to take that opportunity to look at it. But for me, I've mainly been looking into, like I said, doing my master's and applying for the master's program at Daemen. I've been looking into what I need for that more so, and making sure I can do it. Like, it's something that I can do. I don't want to take it on if it's going to be something too much. And I feel like I can. It's just to look into that too.
What area are you gonna?
I think the leadership and innovation one. I've been talking to Professor Doring about it too. I know that there's some talk with the operations stuff coming, some doing the operations management stuff also, adding that to it, and that's something I might look into also, because I do enjoy, like Ziv said, I enjoy a lot of the production operations management stuff. That was probably one of my favorite classes this semester too, for that. So
okay. All right, Ziv, how about you? Have you started looking for opportunities, and if so, what are you seeing?
Similar to what Anthony was saying, yeah. I had all the notifications set up, Indeed, LinkedIn, all the job posting sites, stuff like that. So yeah, I just been applying it all over the place. Anything that seems interesting to me, that I have the matching qualifications for, just seeing like who responds back to me. Just like testing the waters. I actually had 2 interviews earlier today.
Oh, great.
One with AdPro Sports. I thought that one seemed really interesting. And then I had one with a company back home. It's called Scotia. So yeah, it's like in the banking system, but like on the business end. So like just trying to get some experience that way. So
oh, that's great. Yeah. So things are starting to move for you.
Mm-hmm.
Good. That's great. Emily, how about you? What are you up to? And are you seeing any opportunities yet?
Yeah, I haven't been looking too much. I've just kind of been scrolling a little bit, just seeing what's out there, because I originally wasn't planning on starting a career right away. But after you posted my elevator pitch, I did have a few people reach out to me, and I've had a few interviews, and I've had a few opportunities that might go farther, and I'm just kind of waiting to see where it goes.
Wow. Well, that's great. Okay. Well, you have to keep us all informed, on all of you, on what you're doing. If you're going to go to grad school, if you're going to go back to the Bahamas or stay here and work, or, if any of those opportunities actually open up for you. And that's all very exciting. It's exciting because you don't have to get up on Monday morning and go to school. That's the first time in how many years have you been able to just hit that, or you don't even have to set the alarm, just sleep right in.
Yeah, it's kind of dangerous though.
It's a great feeling. It really is.
Watching Netflix.
You can catch up on all of those shows. So I say, enjoy it a little bit. You don't have to jump right in. You can enjoy some of this. Enjoy the ride a little bit. So what do you think, if this is sort of, I guess I have to ask this question because of my line of work, but if someone is interviewing you, and they ask you this question, what makes you stand out among other graduates, other candidates? What do you think might be one of your answers, or what are your go-to answers? Ziv, do you want to touch this?
I was hoping you'd come to me last.
All right, well, we can go to somebody else, and you can.
I could go.
Okay, all right.
I like the challenge. That's my answer. No, I'm joking. But I would say I'd have to call back to like some of my background, like just being an international student, just having like that different perspective, life experience, and all that, and also like as an athlete, just like not being a stranger to like challenges and just like stepping up to the plate, like just toughen it out when things get tough, things get rough, and just that resilience. And so yeah, I mean, pretty much that's about it.
Well, I mean, I think that absolutely being an international student, I think that does stand out among many, and I think what it takes to be an athlete, and that perseverance, that focus, that drive, the team player, like all of those things, and put those together with international student. I mean, that will make you stand out. So I think you hit it on the head. I think you have a good answer there. How about Tony? How about you? What makes you stand out among other graduates?
For me, I think a lot of it's just my leadership experience. I've had 12 years of experience in leadership and management. I may not know exactly what I need to do, but I know how to learn it, and I know how to eventually be able to lead and learn it at the same time. So I think a lot of that's where I go with. I've been through so many different levels of leadership training and leadership school that I think that would be my biggest thing that would help me stand out.
Okay. And I think too, like, because I know you, I think that the leadership does stand out. I think that, you can take anything on. You've said it a couple times, I don't know, if I should tackle the MBA, but if I can, then I will. Of course you can. Like, I don't know why you're even thinking you can't, but yeah, but it shouldn't be, can you? It's, do you want to? And that's, because the passion there will get you through, your drive. And yeah, I mean, there's no question you can absolutely do it. Emily, how about you? What makes you stand out?
Yeah, I would probably say what makes me stand out is probably mostly like just the passion I have for HR, and how eager I am and open I am to learning. And I really do want to get a job at a company where I can grow myself, I can grow the company, and I'm just really, really passionate about it.
Okay. And I think, I mean, my whole background is HR, and you have to want it. Like, and when you go into interviews and you're talking about why, do you want to do this? Well, why did you pick HR? If it's a part of you, if you enjoy it so much that you love it, it comes out in the conversation and how you talk about it and what you're interested in most and all of that. And so I think you were the first elevator pitch I think that I had, and a lot of people jumped on and liked it or watched it. I've been looking at how many views we have for all of those, and we've got hundreds on each one of you, of people who have watched it. So I think that all of you have gotten some really great feedback from people and comments about how you did, and positivity about what you want to do. And so you were the ones who took me up on my offer to do that elevator pitch. Now, there's a lot of students that are graduating, and you are three of the people who chose to do the elevator pitch. That makes you stand out. That you took the challenge and you made it happen, and you got a whole bunch of positive feedback from it. So what I encourage you to do, though, is keep contact with those people that responded back. Make sure that you go and you connect with them and you talk to them and all that, because even if they don't have an offer or an opportunity, they might know somebody else who does, and they might know somebody who could help you. So just make sure that you connect with them. I was going to ask you, kind of like what type of position are you looking for, but we've all I think you've all answered that in some way, shape, or form. So one of my last questions that I ask my guests are to just give 3 pieces of advice to now a college student that's behind you, maybe a junior, maybe a sophomore or a freshman. Now you're about to graduate. You only have a couple days left to cross that stage. What do you think? What kind of advice would you give them to help them prepare for how you feel right now getting ready to graduate. So who would like to take that? Emily, how about you? What kind of advice would you give somebody?
The first piece of advice I think is probably like the most beneficial would be to make sure you network before you graduate. Um, Before I went to Daemen, I never really realized how important networking was until I like created my LinkedIn account and started networking with people at Daemen. And like you said, the people you meet, they might not necessarily have a job for you, but they can teach you so much, or they can introduce you to new people who do have opportunities for you. And having that community around you and having those people that you can go to will be extremely beneficial, and it can kind of help you feel like you're not alone in what you're doing, and it can just make everything a lot easier.
Right. Yep. I totally agree. Networking is probably the top thing that you really got to do for yourself. Ziv, how about you? What kind of advice would you give?
Emily stole mine.
I had that as number one also.
Well, you can make a spin
right?
on it. What else you got? What other advice? Well, what about,
I got
oh, you got another one? Okay, good. What do you got?
I would say just like in terms of like finding that clarity, just there's a lot of like assessments to like learn about yourself, like your personality, and just like they kind of like recommend different career fields that based on like the type of person you are, your interests and all those things, your hobbies, they're like different like self-assessment exams and tests that you could take to like kind of give you some ideas to like kind of like venture off into and just look into. And in addition to that, on top of like networking, you can kind of like do like daily shadows and stuff, ask somebody for like informational interview like you always mention in your class, Karen. And just like things like that, just to like kind of feel out different career spaces, like people in your community, just kind of give you like a little bit of clarity to just like decide on what interests you, what do you like doing, and just like dibble and dabble and just like feeling out the career fields. Like that's one of my pieces of advice, is to like learning like what you want to do in the future.
Well, I was gonna say you sound like me. You could teach my class, because like you're like the whole networking piece, then the assessment piece, then talking to people. I think that these are all like really necessary things, and it takes a while for a student to understand the importance of these things. They you talk to them about it and they're like yeah, but then at a certain point when it clicks and they get it, and then they take off, and then they're ready to graduate. And that's where all of you are at. Tony, how about you? I don't know, they might have stolen all of them from you.
No, I actually wrote down a couple things, and I mean, my kids always say I try to give too much advice, so I'll try to keep it short. Going on what both Ziv and Emily said, networking, but not just networking for the sake of networking to make a connection. And in HR, the seminar HR, we read Steve Brown's book, the HR on Purpose. And that was one of his chapters, was like, you don't just network, just a network, because all you're doing is just getting a bunch of names, or you're doing the whole business card thing where you're taking business cards from everybody. Actually connect, make a connection with them, get to know these people. Don't just ask for things, just get to know them. The other thing is, it's never stop learning. Like, always try to learn something. It doesn't matter what it is, every day try to learn something. And then this one really only just has to do with something that I've always told the people who've worked for me. I've always told my kids, happiness is what you make it. If you can make yourself, you can do it and you enjoy it, it doesn't matter what's going on around you. I told people, like, when I played high school football, like, I hated practice, but I knew practice would end and then we would go to a game. So it didn't matter that I hated practice. I was able to do it. Or when I was deployed, it was awful. We were in a bad place, but you make things. We do movie nights. You just make, happiness is what you make it. It's not what other people make it. Too many people look outward and what this person does and this person. It's what you make it. So,
wow. Yeah,
that's mine.
That was very good. That was very good. Well, I have to thank you, really, each and every one of you, for being on Sharp HR Career Corner. Because I look forward to this one the most when I talk to the students who are about to graduate, and it's kind of like letting a bird out and they get to fly. Like, you guys are all going to just like soar. And I'm excited to see, what your futures hold. I hope you stay in contact with us and let us know what's going on. We're all going to go to the Bahamas and visit Zev, so that's a given.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
but thank you so much, and I wish you, each and every one of you, the best of luck in whatever you do, whatever your next steps are. Please stay in touch. And let us know how things are going, and if you ever need anything, that I'm always here to help you in any way I can.
Thank you for everything, by the way. Yeah, you've been definitely helpful for me. I know that.
Yeah,
thank you.
I can't even thank you enough for everything you've done.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Like, my success is when you're successful, and so that's what really keeps me going. That's what I get motivated. That's what I get passionate about, is when a student comes back to me and says, hey, I'm doing this or I'm doing that, or they come back to my class, which each one of you, we have remote now, so I can remote you in. I can get you zoomed in to my classes to talk to students. So
I'm glad to come back.
So I look forward to that. I really do, because I think that students that can hear other students' stories and their successes, is much better than listening to me talk about what you need to do. I think it works better that way. So thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for listening to Sharp HR Career Corner. If you're graduating from college and are having trouble finding opportunities, then please contact Sharp Human Resources. We'd love to help you out. We have a program just for you. Go to sharphumanresources-buffalo.com for more information. If you enjoy listening to our podcast, I encourage you to download the podcast, leave a comment, and share with others you know. The more downloads, comments, and likes our podcast receives, the better our ratings and the easier we can be found. So thank you in advance. Until next time, be kind, everyone. We need to show a lot more kindness in the world, and it starts with you and I. Thanks again for listening, and have a great day.